Hey, welcome everybody. It's Monday night. It's Market Conversations, and I am Jerry Hall. I will be joined regularly by my cohort in crime here, Mr. XRP Carolina. Say hello to everybody, Carolina.
Hello, everybody.
Right on, right on. Tonight is our first ever live stream where we're going to offer you, the audience, the opportunity to engage in a way that other live streams have not yet started doing. Now, I anticipate this is going to catch on really big throughout the crypto YouTube community, but we're showcasing it here for you on OTC tonight, folks. It's real simple. If you have a question for us, put a question in the chat. We'll put it on screen. Hey, maybe you have a topic or a conversation that we're not covering that you want to be a part of. Send us your Twitter handle or your email address, and we will send you a link to join us right here in studio. Now, you have many options. If you want to come in voice only, it's not a problem. You want to display a really cool name, you can have all that functionality is in the login process. So you'll accept the link, go on the link, it'll take you to our back room, our green room, so to speak, where you can make all those adjustments, and then we'll get you on air and you'll be participating in the show with us tonight. We're going to have some topics. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about how XRP can be interacting in the current legacy FX markets. We are going to talk about Joel Katz's coming up podcast series called Block Stars. That and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. Carolina, hit it.
And now, Jerry Hall and XRP Carolina on the chain.
I don't know about you guys. I think we got the coolest opening tune of any show on the internet. I'm telling you, every time I hear it, and I've heard it 1,000 times, a little part of me plays a little air guitar. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So, the topic of tonight, XRP in FX markets, is not something that I just came up with. I had the good fortune back when I first got into this space of finding a video from Modern Wall Street, and it was the Modern Wall Street Roundtable. It had heavy hitter like Jim Rickards. It had a couple of gold bugs on it, but it also had a long-term veteran FX trader, Mr. Douglas Borthwick, who in this particular hour-long chat brought up a very important point. As they were discussing, well, actually, I'll just tell you the truth. As Jim Rickards was basically bashing Bitcoin, Douglas chimed in with, well, there are some of those cryptocurrencies that are working with regulators. Matter of fact, one of them is named Ripple. And as a 25-year FX trader, I see a day in not too distant future, maybe the next couple of years, where we could actually see, instead of the US dollar to the Japanese yen, you see the US dollar to XRP. You see the Japanese yen to XRP. You see the Costa Rican colone to the XRP. Sí. Oh, me gusta. Exactly. The legacy system is so ripe for the disruption that these technologies bring that if you can step away from the coin market caps and the coin pavricas and the fiat links and just dive into the innovation that's happening, I think you'll find that there is a absolute wealth of progress being made. Well, let me refer back to that Modern Wall Street video. Now, in that video, I went, this guy, Douglas Borthwick, I've got to somehow reach out to him. And I did my internet search and I found a site, and then I eventually got to an email, and I crafted a really nice email inviting him to join me for a conversation. And he was gracious enough to do so. And we sat down and we recorded one of the one-on-one with Jerry Halls. Now that link to that approximate hour-long conversation is in the description box below. That is right. I encourage each and every one of you to check it out. It's hosted on our other channel, what we call OTC Standard, and it's been available for a little while, and it will continue to be there in perpetuity. So there's no rush to get to it. But it was a really insightful conversation to how somebody who's like maybe not exactly in the crypto space like I am looks at digital assets and how it plays in the world that he comes from, being an FX trader. Exciting stuff, exciting stuff. Carolina, we got any questions? Anything happened in the chats? I haven't been looking. I've been trying to focus my attention here on the camera. What's up?
All right, let me scroll through the comments real quick and see what's going on.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to let any dead air happen on this show, folks. I think it would also be cool to bring up another topic I found that was really exciting from last week. And that was Ripple's very own Joel Katz putting together, or somehow his name is attached. Ripple tweeted it out. Joel Katz will be doing a podcast on Spotify called Block Stars. Now, just listening to the title, I don't think it's going to be a show about his early career, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old when he was playing Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's going to have something to do with blockchain. Oh my goodness. The man is in the house. Jungle, thank you so very much for that super chat, man. We really appreciate it. Glad you're here to the show. Jungle, did I mention this is a live call-in show? Simply put in your Twitter handle or your email, and we will get you a link, and you can come on and make a comment or ask a question. You can stay for 30 seconds or 5 minutes. It's really up to you, sir. Anyway, consider the invitation given. So I thought that was really fascinating. I'm actually really curious what David Schwartz is going to do with his podcast. Now, it's anybody's guess. Do we have any speculators out there? Throw it in the comments section. What do you think Mr. Schwartz could be brewing? I don't know. He's had a lot of time at home. We've all been on lockdown. Who knows what he's come up with, right? Anyway, I'm sure it's exciting stuff. So as I take a quick peek over at my banner board, I'm going to throw up a couple of things that I found were interesting. Now, none of this stuff I came up with on my own. I've got to give credit where credit is due. King Solomon, excellent researcher. Darren Moore, excellent researcher. I mean, geez, the list goes on and on and on and on. But anyway, it's through Mr. King Solomon, who I just wrapped up an interview with this week for one-on-one, but have not edited and we haven't posted it yet. But I got from him this incredible connection of Finestra, a Ripple partner working with CLS, which moves about half of all the FX transactions. Do you have thoughts on that? What are your thoughts, audience? I'd love to know what you're thinking. I'm telling you, one of the compelling stories that's coming out of this lockdown is that there will be an adverse effect on the remittance market because so many of the folks that constitute that remittance market have been out of work or had their work shrunken or diminished greatly, which would then reduce the amount of and the size of the remittance that they're sending home. Okay, that's logical. How long before that picks back up? I don't know. But I will tell you, understanding what I understand about the markets, the FX market is a pretty friggin' big fish. and the remittance market, as important as it is in the greater sense of the ecosystem, it's not the end all be all, right? You got to learn to crawl before you can walk, before you can run. I consider the remittance market kind of that crawl phase. Well, man, if we're making strides towards the FX market, we're getting ready to do some sprints, folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking forward to that. There is also something really fascinating to me that when you get into the FX markets, okay, now you are dealing with this expansive ecosystem of market makers. There are so many entities that that make up that whole body as a whole. Some of them there might be a few that only want to deal with exotic stuff. There may be 50, 60, 70, 80,000, who knows the number, that are heavy in the euro to US dollar, Japanese yen, and all combinations in between. The point is, there are many different players in that space. So can you imagine? Just take a second and close your eyes. That if Ripple were to get a foothold in that market like they did with remittances in their partnership with MoneyGram, how the dominoes would fall. Now, I'm not generally a rah, let's connect 25 different dots and make this happen kind of guy. However, when industry professionals such as Douglas Borthwick are having conversations in public and on air, talking about the feasibility of these things, sharing his thoughts with the world openly without any trepidation, I tend to put a little weight in that, considering that's the world he come from. He didn't come from blockchain and get into FX. He came from FX and is saying, hey, this DLT stuff, this is value added. So, hey, Carolina, anything in the chat? Anything? Or was Jungle Inc. the only guy in the chat? I mean, I can go to the comment section myself if you want me to. Here we go.
I got Matt LaRoche. He has a good statement that he put out in the chat.
Hey, Matty. Okay, let's check this out. From the research I and Michael Crowley have done, 65% of all the banks that make up the CLS settlement structure have partnered or trialed Ripple. Matt, ask for a link. Dude, this is gold. And this is live call-in crypto YouTube. You can come in and do voice only, Matt, if you don't want your face on camera. But I would love to have you come in and share a couple of minutes with the audience. This is wonderful. Not to mention, I wouldn't have to keep talking. And boy, what a dream that would be for the audience, right? Hi, Patsy. Nice to see you. Rain, nice to see you. Connie, nice to see you. Boy, there's a whole world outside of this thing once I press the comments box, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
So it's real simple. I'll tell you what. I'll do my job. Bang. It's pretty simple. So we got that going on. Let's see here. What did I want to also talk about? I wanted to talk about OTC as a platform overall. So many of you know OTC has a live YouTube channel. You're watching it right now. OTC has OTC, the standard for pre-recorded content. They also have a website with a free newsletter. That newsletter will have content that isn't necessarily contained on either of the two YouTube channels. There's I don't want to keep saying the word platform. There are podcasts, voice only podcast stuff on Spotify, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The point of the matter is that it's a multi-contributor, multi-discipline platform that is giving way for creativity. So we've got Jeff producing content, we've got Chip producing content, we got myself producing content, we got Carolina on the ones and twos on the Monday night show. Totally digging that. We'll see if that expands. Here's a question to anybody out there in the audience. Do you have something to say? Do you have a point of view? Do you love crypto? Are you down with OTC? Because if you are, let us know. This is about inclusivity, not exclusivity. We want you to be a part of. Pardon me?
One more freaking with a super sticker. Thank you so much for doing that. One more freaking, appreciate it.
A super sticker. I don't think I've ever seen a super sticker in my life. Matter of fact, this is my first live stream. There's so much things I haven't seen, but the point is, that is, I was really hoping to get somebody in here.
We got
Crypto Reds. Hey, I know Crypto Reds. Crypto Reds is my buddy Daniel. Hey, Daniel, thanks for making it to the show. Daniel, you want to come on? Anyway. Oh, there's probably a lag behind my voice and your interaction in the chat box. Would make sense. Anyway, Carolina, he's a partner. Crypto Reds is a buddy of mine. You got that?
Yes, I do. I'm trying to add them to it.
All right, man. This is going to be fun, folks. Now, the whole premise of this is to create a place for the community to get another level of engagement, right? I came up with this idea, I'll be honest, about 7 months ago. I was really inspired by a Brad Keim stream. Somehow got on his show. I did a live call and he put the phone up next to the computer, and that was kind of cool. And then we had a good, half an hour chat at another date where I presented this particular idea. I thought, man, for a live streamer, having a live call-in would be another level of engagement. And, I didn't see anybody manifested around the YouTube circles. And so I went to Jeff and Chip and said, hey, I think we should do this. Let's do it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. They've got their support behind me, and here we are. I will tell you, though, there's a difference between thoughts and reality, because in my mind, I did not foresee having to talk this long. I did not think that I would go 10, 15 minutes before somebody would call in. However, it looks like, do we have somebody on their way, Carolina?
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm having difficulties trying to.
That's okay. Well, if you need some help, don't forget that you can use a lifeline. I'll tell you what, I'd like to address, I just saw this in the chat field. This is from Doc Callum. So do we know how many corridors Ripple has open for the small remittances? All right, I'll wrap off the ones that I know are legit and in place right now. There's the USD to XRP with Bitstamp. There is the XRP to Mexican peso with Bitso. There is the XRP to Australian dollar with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin markets or Bitcoin markets. It's one of the two. There is XRP to the Philippine peso through coins.ph. Now, there may be more, but those are the ones, Doc, that I know are absolutely real and in place. I hope that answered your question. If you have any other questions, don't ever hesitate to ask. I want to acknowledge Jet Digital. Thank you very so much for the $5. I think that's a super chat, right? Is that what you call that, Carolina?
Yes, I think that's super chat. We got Jungle Inc. standing by to come in.
Well, he's in. I see him on screen, but I don't hear him.
Yo.
Oh my!
There he
Welcome
is.
to the jungle. How are you, my friend?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for inviting me on
Welcome,
here.
Jungle.
I'm really, really good. Hey, Carolina, take a look at the screen for me real quick. Man,
Okay.
so nice of you to pop in. So, hey, Jungle.
Yeah.
I wrapped off the 4 XRP corridors that I can wrap off, half asleep. Did I miss any?
Someone just called me with this wacky tax question, so I missed that part right before I called in.
Okay.
But I'm
what
sure I
part
don't
did you
know.
want to comment on?
I don't know. I just wanted to join and say hi. I think this is so cool. We see this developing. We really have this great around-the-clock coverage. All these people all around the world that are so interested in digital assets, and I just think there's a lot of learning, and everyone kind of brings something specific to the table. So I was excited to see this. I call it an event that you guys are doing. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't have happened without a team effort. You know what I mean?
That's what's really so cool about on the chain, because it's bigger than what any individual person's doing. You have this collection of, talented people just bringing really great content and perspective. And it really is.
I could not agree more. Pound for pound, I weigh as much as both Jeff and Chip put together. But it really, I'm glad that isn't, the kind of largeness and fullness that we were bringing to the table here. We're the intellect. So I brought the idea. Chip and Jeff put together the tech.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like watching a monkey play football with me on a computer. You know what I mean? I'm fat fingered and everything. I completely lost. I needed to be idiot proof.
Well, this is so cool. I mean, you guys are able to take live calls and stuff like that. That's some next level stuff. I remember the first time I went live, I hit the button and then all of a sudden there's all these people there and I didn't even know what I was going to talk about, what was going on. Had a panic attack right on air. So, that's cool. You guys got this all dialed in with the professional presentation.
Well, the professional presentation part, I know Jeff and Chip did a great job. Basically, I've told a few friends, hey, come check it out tonight because I'm either going to hit a home run or it's going to be a train wreck, one of the two.
Hey, I'm telling you what, you see these different, actual TV level shows going on right now, and they're trying to transition to, the people doing it from home, whether it's Saturday. You guys aren't doing, any less than they are.
Right on.
No.
Thank you, man.
Quick question for you. I was really thinking about this today with cryptocurrencies, digital assets. We're always looking at that big, change the world, upper level stuff, right? Like we're going to replace the dollar. We're going to do all this crazy stuff. And I think we have to find that middle ground. And I think we're seeing that, with an XRP. One example of that would be the Sum app. Of course, the biggest application of all out there is on-demand liquidity. I'm excited we're seeing these actual applications that people and businesses are going to use within digital assets. To me, that's the important thing, coming out with real applications that have, use to them that people and businesses will use rather than these, upper level stuff that might be the eventual goal, but you're not going to jump right to there, just taking down the whole system. I like what we're seeing here, and there's a lot of stuff brewing, but we're starting to see it actually roll out.
Yeah, right on. I mean, it's good times, right? It's good times. I was saying earlier, and it's advice I need to give myself. I need to step away from the coin market cap and the coin Parica and the fiat link. I need to stay away from that because that is not reflective of the strides that this industry in this space is making.
I think it's absolutely true. We sit here and we kind of see where this is going. And also, we're probably not happy with where the price is right now, but sometimes markets are kind of irrational, and I think over the long term, though, they're always going to be rational. And we're going to eventually see all this development that we've been making reflect in the prices. We know this space is here to stay. We see today more governments than ever paying attention to this space. Businesses, you can Google any major business in the world out there. They have a handbook telling their executives, we don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but digital assets are for real. And this is going to change our industry, just like the internet did and anything else. This is coming. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a fad. This is very real. And this is a time in history where we can really say that wasn't the case in the past. You didn't really know.
Right. Hey, I got you here. And there's a question came into the stream from Crypto Reds. I'd like to read it to you.
All right.
And ask you if you wanted to take a stab at answering it. Here's the question. Can you explain what happened to XRapid? I remember that it used to be a thing, but not sure if it's still on or if Ripple works just with XRP and IOUs.
Well, again, I'm not the most technically expert person out there, but to my understanding, XRapid is now called on-demand liquidity. And the exciting thing with Ripple is that's kind of their focal point right now. In the past, something would roll out and it was just X-current. It was about adding new partners. We don't really hear about that at all now. We've made this great shift, and everything, every single bit of Ripple's focus is just on on-demand liquidity, which is XRapid essentially. I think they just renamed it for marketing purposes. It describes exactly what they're doing. XRapid sounds kind of out there, kind of crypto land, where on-demand liquidity is very easy for customers to understand what it does, and really for everyone else out there. So I think it's actually the opposite. Not only has it not gone away, but it has really emerged as their sole and only focus, at least, outwardly to when they report stuff.
Sure. Well, I think, they're not the whole world doesn't follow it daily like we are.
Right.
And I could see how if somebody came into the space in 2017 and 2018, and that was their exposure to Ripple, and maybe they're working on other stuff, they're not that into it. Now they come back to the space in late 2019, early 2020, and you never hear one word about XCurrent, XRapid, XVIA. And if you haven't, really went and dug, who's what, where, how, then, how would you know? So yeah, the rebranding to on-demand liquidity not only speaks volumes, right? On-demand liquidity kind of speaks for itself, but also gives a path forward. I don't think they'll ever need to rebrand that product again.
One other quick thing, though, he does bring up the IOU thing. And I think that's the fascinating use case. It might not be the big one they're focusing on, but I think it opens up all sorts of things. You and I back in the day talked about when DX Exchange, came out. And that was that same idea, tokenizing real world assets, using Ethereum. So it's a different blockchain, but the same idea. And we're starting to see that kind of pick up with an XRP. And we see that with the Sum application now, where XRP Labs has this really cool app where using the XRP ledger, you can trade tokenized USD, tokenized euros, all sorts of different assets on there. And I think they'll actually expand that. But so the IOU stuff, I think, is very, very intriguing, even though it's not the main purpose of what Ripple's doing.
Gotcha. So Crypto Reds, I hope that helps. Going back here, I see Rain's got a question. Like to throw that in there. Wait a second. It's not just Rain having a question. It's Rain in the green room. Hey, Jungle, Pure Vito, my brother, thanks for jumping in, man. I really appreciate it. Hope you hang out and continue to listen. I'll let you go back to doing what you're doing, bro. Thanks.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Thank you for having me on.
All right, Pure Vito, my friend. Where's Rain? And at stream. Mr. Rain, welcome to the show. Monday night market conversation. What's up, man?
Hey, am I good? Because I'm hearing you guys through my speakers, and my mic is a preamp thing. So I just want to make sure I don't have an echo.
You don't have an echo. Maybe because I don't have a preamp. I don't know. That ain't my thing, man. I mean, I know about I can read, but I couldn't plug anything. I couldn't tell you what's going on.
It's not your bag, baby.
It ain't my speciality. So what do you want to talk about, man? Let's go back. Hey, where's that? Uh-oh. We got multiple people touching stuff here, so I'm lost. You had a question on the screen. I forgot what it is. Why don't you bring it to us live?
So I don't know what I was saying earlier, but I did have something. I have something controversial that I want to put out there about XRP, right?
Uh-huh.
And I want to do it here because I know that Chip is going to go, what the hell? So basically, XRP will be held in reserves, but I don't know at this point exactly, does that mean by the banks or is that the countries of origin? But I do believe the banks are going back to the country of origin because the central bank system's being destroyed, right? So XRP is going to be held in reserves per Austin Steinbart, and Bitcoin will be big too, but XRP will be bigger. Austin Steinbart claims to be part of Q, and I believe that story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, that's a very, very interesting comment. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to put something on the board that I can put on the screen? Because, well, here's the thing, Rain, we don't know each other that well. I don't do a lot of dot connecting. So I couldn't disprove that, but I also couldn't support it because there's nothing, I don't have enough evidence to support that.
Right.
I can see the dots. I mean, I'm not Ray Charles. I can see the dots.
Ray Charles.
But I can't, there are people that do a very, very good job of linking this to this, to this, to this, to this. And when they say it, it makes sense. To be honest, if I did it, it would sound like I was trying to sell you a used car because I don't believe it in my heart.
All right,
but
so
it won't happen. I mean, you could be right. God, wouldn't it be great?
Right. Supposedly we have maybe possibly 3 months is the window that as far as buying XRP on the cheap. So I'm just saying, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in him or not, which I do. I've done a lot of research to the guy, and he's a heavy hitter when it comes to knowledge. I've watched a lot of interviews with him. He's controversial, though, because he's claiming to be part of QAnon. So that's pretty big. And I want to say, hey, shout out to Jerry Hall, because we just met. But also, Carolina, what is up, man? I've been trying to talk to you in all these streams, but I don't know if you don't have chat or whatever. But I love your gear, brother. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Is anyone else waiting? Because I don't want to hold up.
Well, I know that we're trying to get some stuff, but I mean, come on, we've got you here. I think it would be crazy not to have you, at least ramble on for another minute or two.
Well,
come on.
I have some stuff to say. Well, one thing I'm very happy to announce that I just streamed before you guys came on, and I made sure that I got off air, in time, because I was like, wait a minute, are these guys coming on at 5? So I got off, but I actually streamed through StreamYard. And I actually knew about StreamYard last year, but I was hesitant to jump on it. Well, then the boys were on last night, and I saw them on using StreamYard. I was like, what are you guys using? I was like, I knew something was different. So I really dig it. I'm using the free version, and I'm looking forward to doing more with it. And I'm excited. I'm digging the fact that you guys are doing these live shows. And it was cool having Jungle on. I'm sorry that you got booted, Jungle. I wish you could have stayed on, but you have any questions for me on what I'm thinking? Anyone in the chat?
Yeah, there you go. That's a great thing. See, that's the wonderful part of this, Rain. This like live call-in functionality that was only ever available for, in the entire YouTube universe when you took your cell phone and put it. Okay, caller, go ahead. Yeah. I'm gonna put the phone down to the speaker. Go ahead. Oh, and then they sound like 20 degrees or 50, marker points on the volume lower, and the static and the weirdness. This provides a kind of continuity and a flow and something beautiful to like bring old call-in radio to YouTube, right? I grew up in the Bay Area, Northern California, listening to KMBR Sports Talk Radio. And it was fun to listen to the host talk and share their opinions. But I thought it was really cool to hear people call in with their spin on things. And I thought some of those were some of the most incredible parts of the show. Somebody would call in with a spin that nobody saw.
You have a radio voice right now. I don't know what mic you're using, but it sounds really good. I like it.
Well, this is a cheap laptop. Uh-oh. Are you friggin' kidding me? Hey, Rain, I'm not booting you. I'm just saying Pura Vida for now. Everybody stay tuned. This is going to be incredible. You ready for this?
Uh-oh. Is it the NFL guy?
It is. Oh my goodness!
Hey, what's happening, Jerry?
What up, dude? Steve Wisniewski?
That is number 76. Hang on,
Dude, from the Raiders?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, dude! Dude, I'm a freaking diehard Raiders fan since I was a young kid, dude. Sorry.
Okay, listen up. Hey, guys, check this out. This is a crypto show, but I will give you 90 seconds to absolutely fanboy out because you're looking at one of the greatest Raiders that have ever lived.
Yeah.
13-year pro, 8-year all-pro, all 90s all-pro team.
Wow.
Voted in the top 5 best players to not be voted in the Hall of Fame yet.
Oh, no.
He's my friend. He's a crypto enthusiast.
Really?
Oh, he'll make you forget all about football the second he starts opening his mouth. So you got 90 seconds to be a fanboy, and then we go right back to crypto. Go ahead.
Me? Dude, all I got
Go
to
ahead,
say,
Rain.
I watched you play live a lot at Oakland and on TV. And, man, I tell you what, those were some great years, bro. You were amazing. And I think the Raiders are going to be amazing in Vegas, but it is kind of a sad day. But, you know, thank you for what you did, man, and for throwing your body out there and everything for us.
Oh, man. Hey, thank you for just letting me have it on the stream. I won't be on here for long. I just want to tell you, my hat's off to you guys. Jerry, XRP Carolina. You guys are adding value. I've got my pad out here. I'm taking notes. I've learned so much from Jerry. We've just met in the last 3 weeks, and you guys are adding value. You guys are telling people some things that will make them wealthy, and this is life transformation wealth right here in this move to tokenization and blockchain. So, yes, I played 13 years with the LA and Oakland Raiders. I even coached a little bit at Stanford University and at the Oakland Raiders, and still involved with the organization, do a lot of charity events. I'm kind of an ambassador for them. But honestly, I spend 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day in blockchain. I'm invested in 30 different projects. I eat and sleep and believe it. I want all projects to succeed. I think that, you know, we have to keep an open mind, try to be as unbiased as we can, and just look for the best projects, those who have a great technology, those who are solving a problem, those with a great team, those with timing and tokenomics, and I think it's going to make us wildly wealthy. So I'm like advising 50, 60 different people, not for a dime. I'm not making any money on this, but I'm just passionate about it. I'm trying to encourage other people like, hey, take a look at this. I was, you know, a big doubter 2 years ago, thought Bitcoin was crazy. And now I'm tracking on the best projects, putting my money to work. And I think we're in for just life transformational wealth, not investment advice. And so hats off to you. You guys are giving great advice. I'm taking notes every podcast. And I think you're going to make me wealthy. So thank you for you. Thank you for all you guys are doing for the community. Jungle Inc. just came in. Love him to death. I follow him as well. And look at the excitement you guys are creating. Look at the people that are commenting. Like in a short time, man, hats off. You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, let me ask you this. So, you know, I mean, obviously you and I have had the good fortune, or I've had the good fortune. I don't know about you. I've had the good fortune of getting to interact with you on a fairly steady basis. For those of you that don't know, Steve and I are forming a Bald is Beautiful investment group. You have to be bald, you have to be beautiful to enter. So, you know, if you're not, then don't apply. The point is, Steve.
You have to look like Shrek. You have to look like Shrek. If you look like Shrek, you've got a chance in our group.
Dude,
Steve, tell the folks.
I'm tripping. I can't believe
give the folks a little history on your coming into the space, because see, I don't think people understand that you've been an investor since the very first NFL paycheck you got in 1989. So
yes,
give us a few minutes, man. I'm gonna put you front and center. You're gonna take the full screen, big guy. It's all you.
I look better when I'm not on the full screen, by the way. But in 1989, I got my first paycheck in the NFL. Half of the money disappeared from taxes. I was like, what in the world? Like, why is all this money gone? So I started to look for things to invest in. I quickly started reading Money Magazine and getting involved with, you know, traditional stock investing. A brother-in-law of mine started a private equity investment company. So over 30 years, I put money in all his deals. I ended up getting involved with the Kretsu Forum, which was an angel investing network, very much like a Shark Tank in the Bay Area. And that was a great learning experience. Young people, passionate, great ideas, presenting their ideas. And you had to be critical. You had to say, hey, well, you got a great idea, but can you make money from it? Like, how does this equate into shareholder value? And so about 2 years ago, we had this major run up in Bitcoin. So we're talking about late 2017. I thought, this is nuts. Like, why would anyone put money in Bitcoin? They must be out of their mind, nothing to back it up. But, because so much is going into it, maybe I should take a look at it. I read one article, then I read 10 articles, then I read 40 articles. And then I said, you know what? There is something amazing about blockchain technology. I tell everybody today, learn all you can about blockchain technology. Question I asked at that time, and the question we should all ask every morning we get up, is how do I profit blockchain technology? Well, that led me down the road, the rabbit trail, cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are built on blockchain technology. And then I started seeing the use case of Bitcoin, but also the use case of probably another 10 or 15 projects. I like to say, listen, if we were able to go in a time back to 1993, 1994, we would all be investing whatever little dollars we have into companies like Microsoft, Cisco Systems, Juniper Networks, American Online. Amazon came out in 95, became public in 97. HP and Dell, companies that were solving a problem. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm learning from guys like you all the time, and I'm taking notes, and I'm saying, hey, what are those next best projects? Who's solving a problem? Let me have an open mind. Like, let's not get too biased, tunnel vision here. And I think all of us are going to grow dramatically in our wealth creation if we're able to adapt quickly, have an open mind, and look for those best projects.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Wow.
XRP,
Right.
XRP baby, Wisniewski.
I love XRP. Phenomenal use case. So let me go right to the use case. Why do I love XRP? And I tell people all the time, please prove me that I'm wrong. Like, I don't have a bias here. If I'm wrong, show me that I'm wrong. But in the case of XRP, they have a real world use case. They said, hey, listen, Bitcoin's great technology, but it's old and it's slow. Let's use a more modern, updated technology, and let's solve a real world problem. And let's use a real world customer. I love projects that have paying customers today. We know Ripple has over 450 paying customers today. And they're saying, hey, the legacy financial system is not going to disappear. Banks and governments are not going to disappear, but they have a problem. They have a liquidity problem. Money is tied up. They've got money, maybe $20 to $27 trillion, tied up in banks around the world. This old system created in 71 known as SWIFT meant that they had to pre-fund accounts around the world if they want to move money. So it's a freaking nightmare. Imagine a poker table with eight banks around the poker table, and they all owe money right now, but they're in different time zones and with different currencies. It takes 4 to 5 days to settle right now. With XRP, they can all put for 4 seconds whatever they owe each other into the poker table. 4 seconds later, it's across the world. And the 5th second, it can go back to the yuan, the yen, the ruble, you name it. So XRP is a great project because it's great team, great technology. It's a hybrid technology. Some people hate it because it is helping the legacy financial system, but it's a great technology. They have great timing. This COVID-19 financial crisis is actually going to help us, not hurt us, and they're solving a real world problem. So yes, I love XRP, but it's not the only project I love. There's probably 10 other projects that I love. And so again, I'm saying, hey, let's have an open mind. I hope they all succeed.
Well, right on, Steve. And I'll tell you what, brother, you have an invitation for the next 9 weeks to come on, take 5 minutes, and we'll talk about whatever the other we'll take one project a week for the next 9 weeks right here on Market Conversations, hosted and produced solely for the purpose of the OTC community. That's right, on the chain. Steve, got a question. This is important. Are you down with OTC?
Yes, man, on the chain. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
and again, here you are, adding value. You're adding value. What does this cost people? Nothing. It costs them their time. Man, I'm telling everybody I can. I'm tweeting this stuff out. like learn. And here's what I tell everybody. I'm telling my own children this and my family members. Learn all you can now. Get all your questions answered now and get off zero. Not investment advice. If you got 20 bucks, put it to use. 20, 50, 100, 1,000 bucks, put it in the best projects. It's going to be life-changing. So thanks, Jerry. I'm gonna go back to just listening here on the sidelines. I'm gonna take you guys, man, have a great broadcast, and thank you for all you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I feel honored to be able to even be in this conversation, man. Dude, you're a legend. Thank you, man.
He's the man. Hey, Rain, you said you watched him play, right?
Dude, I watched him. Yeah, I watched him pretty much his whole career. I was an LA.
Did anybody?
Huh?
I was going to say, did you ever see anybody? Not that they didn't have great linemen; they had other great linemen. Did you ever see anybody hustle after the play more than number 76?
No, dude. I mean, you got.
No.
And you know, I think
get me off now, Jerry. I'm getting embarrassed. I'm blushing.
Okay, let me get you out of here. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you a story real quick. This is so impressive.
Awesome.
Now, this is probably way out of bounds, and Wiz is a very humble man, but I got to tell you,
I could tell.
Watch him play. I remember I saw a play. Bo Jackson broke through the line. Wiz had just taken care of his guy, right? So, boom, Bo's up. Fastest thing you ever seen in your life. And Wiz is chasing him down the field looking like he's a turtle behind a jackrabbit. It was just phenomenal, but he never stopped hustling. And I got the great opportunity to interview Steve Wisniewski for OTC's one of their premier interview shows. It's called One-on-One with Jerry Hall, creeping its way. Matter of fact, I heard it's possibly nominated for a YouTube Emmy Award. It's just a rumor. I can't confirm that, but that's word on the street. Hey, Carolina, talk to me. Who's on deck? What's going on? I haven't seen much action.
Hey, I'm sorry. I want to back up what I was saying earlier when I get a chance, if you allow me. Okay.
The floor is yours, my friend. I'm sorry.
Did Carolina have something? I just want to make sure I back up what I was saying earlier about Austin Steinbart and the prediction.
Yeah.
I had other stuff I did not add that I totally was thinking about when Wisniewski was on.
I know it's easy to get distracted, isn't it?
Chippy with the XR. Wait a minute.
XRP minute.
Jerry, I just want to say, man, what a freaking crazy show. I was fanboying myself. I was like,
I'm blown away.
Fanboying over the Wiz, man. I was like, dude, that's insane.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That's my take. What's yours?
What's yours?
Chip, thanks for coming in. Hang out for a second. I really want to give Rain the respect to finish his thing, and then I want to be able to say goodbye to him because it looks like we're going to try to make room for another. So, Rain, final thought. Hit it.
All right. So I'm going to back up what I was saying earlier, and I know Chip doesn't agree with probably what I was saying especially when I mentioned the name Austin Steinbart. Now, I mentioned the name for a reason because I knew it'd get Chip going, but he's the one that said it. So now think about this. So this, and it doesn't even matter if he's saying it. Check this out. So we have the Space Force now, right? So the Space Force was announced. It's not a Rain talking, because before it came out, I was talking about it, and then it became official, right? So Space Force is real. We're going into a new age. Everything's changing, right? Technology and all that. We're going to go out into space again. And the thing is that what Austin said, that he said that, yeah, gold would be great to go back to the gold standard. I think the gold standard will be the transition period, right? With maybe silver, and you're going to have crypto in there, right? But maybe later it doesn't, maybe it falls back to the end of the line, and then you're going to have crypto in the front of the line. So what's going to happen is XRP is going to be held in reserves. Bitcoin will be big too. It might be kind of like a digital gold, like they say, right? But it's going to change because Bitcoin won't be as bad as everyone thinks, because we're going to have pretty much like almost free energy, right? From the technologies that are being released, we're going to have pretty close to, if not free energy. So that won't be a problem. Plus, it could run over the Ripple net, or it could run over the Stellar Lumens network, I'm pretty sure. And that brings the speed into play, right? And now with XRP, he said that it's the one. It's going to be held in reserves. That is pretty major, right? And the reason for is because when we go out into space, you'll be able to mine asteroids and everything out there. You'll be able to find the resources. So what happens if you're you're building your castle on gold, and then boom, now they found all these deposits of gold on these asteroids. Now your castle is not worth what it was, right? So I really do believe that the cryptocurrencies will be the standard and will be the future of what used to be gold and silver, although those will be back in, the currencies too. But the thing is, you can mine more gold and silver, right? You cannot mine more Ripple, and it's being burnt every time it's used. And you cannot mine any more Bitcoin after the 21 million is done, which is going to take quite a long time. So that is what I had to say. It's pretty major stuff. I really believe it. It made sense to me about what a lot of people have already said, that, hey, they're not making, Ripple anymore, or they're not going to be making Bitcoin anymore. So I don't know what you think about that. Lost your mic, Jerry.
You support the scarcity issue, and I support you for having that support. Rain, thank you very much. Have a great night, young man. It was absolutely incredible to have you in the show. But, ladies and gentlemen, co-founder, creative director of On the Chain, Chip with the XRP Minute. This just in.
What's going on? Listen, I just wanted to say what an awesome show this has been. I love everybody coming out and supporting Jerry. It's really pretty cool, man, to see Jerry and XRP Carolina together, finally at last. So it is a really special thing. Then you bring Wiz in. I'm like, what's going on, man? Rain, Jungling called in. This is an epic show beyond. And I'm already starting to sniff some other possibilities here. And I'll tell you what, you guys got to give it up to Jerry Hall, because he wanted to pioneer something out there. He's really the first person out there doing this call-in and really wanted to engage the community. So when he brought the idea to us, we're like, man, this sounds amazing. And you know what? Tonight's first show, Jerry and XRP Carolina has proved it was an epic idea. So I wanted to say, man, hats off. This is really a lot of fun, man. And that's all I want to do. It's your show. I'm bouncing out. And
Chip out.
It's my take. I'm out of here.
All right, 3. So now that it's just me and Carolina back, I thought it'd be a good time, and we're getting close to the end of that hour. Carolina, what do you say we go into our rendition of Ebony and Ivory? Should we regale the audience in song? Maybe not. Maybe we can sift through that incredible community in the chat and get another question or two. Now, this facade threw up I want to acknowledge this incredible super chat. Notorious. Either my lips were moving or somebody else's lips were moving. I saw Notorious had a couple super chats. Thank you. If for some silly reason I missed acknowledging somebody supporting this show, please forgive me. This is my maiden voyage. All of my other content that I've ever really done is recorded. And if I completely go sideways, I have the ability to edit a little bit. You know what I mean? This is live and uncut. We've got all the little things that can, happen with, we got buttons we're not used to dealing with, and triggers and this and that and the other thing. All kinds of stuff could go wrong. I told all my friends this was either going to be a home run or it was going to be a train wreck, right? I'm going to let you, the audience, decide if we've hit a home run or if, in fact, Jerry, you created a train wreck. Either way, if you were entertained, then right on. That's what it's really all about. We got anything in the chat, Carolina? I've been leaving that up to you, my friend.
Okay, I'm scrolling through.
Okay, you scroll through. I'll get back to one of the topics. One of the things that, talking to Douglas Borthwick, who is, who I told you at the top of the show, a 25-year veteran FX trader. One of the things that makes RippleNet and the XRP ledger and the XRP token so attractive to that industry is that the traditional industry takes 2 days to settle. So if you are let's say a prime broker in the United States, let's just say, I'll make up a bank. I'll just make up a fictitious bank. We'll call it Bank of America, right? Your Bank of America and your FX trading desk is doing X number of euros and X millions upon millions of dollars of yen and maybe even, tons of Russian rubles because of the oil and all the stuff, who knows? And you're having to go to the repo market and go to other prime dealers, right? Other huge banks to borrow money to make sure your pluses and balances on your ledger are correct every day, because you have to wait 2 days for the profitable transaction that you made in FX to go through and settle. That is insane. It's totally insane. How about this? How about this one, folks? How about XRP? And this is one of the things that FXcoin, a Japanese company formed by a small group of extremely successful FX dealers from banks such as Deutsche Bank, I'm going to butcher the name, one of the really large Japanese banks. Anyway, FXcoin, Japanese company, got their license to become a crypto exchange, but they're not that interested at one bit in doing retail crypto exchange. They're interested in hitting the commercial FX market with digital assets. Hey, Jeff with a super sticker. Thank you, Jeff, for the super sticker. Anyway, the point is, you got that going on. Well, guess what? They're also working on domestic rail use of XRP. Now, U.S. citizen Jerry Hall signs up with U.S. company Coinbase, links my U.S. bank account with Coinbase, initiates a transaction with Coinbase where I want $500 from my bank account to go into Coinbase so that I can buy digital assets, and it takes 5 days? Huh. Well, why did they tell me the U.S. rails are so incredible? They're so fast. It's just debit and credits on ledgers. Interesting. Because and I'll tell you why it's interesting. When you want to get involved with real hard assets, there is no credit on a ledger. You have the money or you don't have the money. So when the rubber hits the road, settlement is where the big boys are, right? XRP for the domestic rails, there is a use case. It's not dollar to XRP to Mexican peso. It's ledger to ledger value exchange. Direct ledger to ledger value exchange. Bank of America ledger in US dollar. Coinbase ledger in US dollar. XRP is the value of transmission. Is the transmission of value. Bada bing, bada boom, 6 seconds. I go from pressing a button to buy an XRP on Coinbase. That's right. I said it, and I'm not ashamed of it. I won't retract my comments. I want my XRP. I want my XRP. Anyway, what do you got for me, Carolina? You keep smiling at me, but I don't see anything. I appreciate the contributions financially, folks. It's wonderful. I will tell you, I'm absolutely horrified at those greedy YouTube administrators, because you guys put your hard-earned money when you do a super chat, and for that I'm extremely grateful. But did you know YouTube is putting their grubby little fingers in there and taking 30% right off the top? Right off the top. Can you imagine how much money YouTube is actually raking in, taking 30% off the top of the content they didn't create? Content they didn't create. Talk about a scheme. What a scheme. It's actually ingenious. Some would say criminal. Some would say just good business. I guess everything's a matter of perspective. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. Brady! Oh, no. Bring the Brady back. Thank you, Doc. Thanks for the dinero. Muchas gracias, mujer.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate it.
We really do. I'm asking you, Carolina, to put the Brady thing back on the screen for me. I saw a question.
Okay.
It went away so quick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This
There you
instant
go.
settlement thing is going to increase the velocity money like crazy. I hope these digital assets can hold that fiat inflation coming this way. That is a ton to unpack. Brady, you are onto something there. The velocity of money is how the everyday economy flourishes. When I make $1 and I spend it on a good, and the person who sold it to me takes that dollar and spends it on a product, and that person who made the product takes the dollar and now goes buys, what can you buy for $1 now? A Snickers, half a Snickers? I don't know, something. You buy something, you get that money moving around the system. People are benefiting from it. And I love the fact that digital assets have such an alacrity. That's right. I'm talking about a speed of movement. I'm talking about rapido dinero. Exactly. Digital jet with a 589 bomb. Keep this going. Will it be on cinnamon? I'd like to hype it. Great job. Digital jet. If it isn't cinnamon the stream, I'll put cinnamon in my coffee. If it isn't cinnamon in my coffee, we're going to stream to Twitch. If we don't stream to Twitch, then I'll put a TV outside my house and stream to my neighborhood here in Costa Rica. Even though they all speak Spanish, maybe it'll be a way for them to learn English, but we are going to get this out to the people, and maybe you guys can help us, right? Maybe a community can build something incredible. I will tell you that's what attracted me really early on when I got into this space, was tuning into a Jungle Link video and listening to him just like articulately talk about what he sees coming forward. When I got involved and first started catching some live streams, I remember it was Alex Cobb, and this young man had such an enthusiasm, right? And then you know, I'll never forget when I heard Kevin Cage come on the scene. One cut and go. Let's just make it happen. The enthusiasm, and there's so many. I mean, it by me not mentioning the vast array of YouTubers that I think are doing incredible jobs doesn't mean that I'm a fan. I'm such a fan. There's so many incredible people out there, but there's also a ton of great people on Twitter, right? Like, I don't watch TV news anymore. I watch Twitter. I'm tuned into enough people in finance, global economics, the macro view of things, crypto. I don't need to watch the television news anymore. Matter of fact, I get real-time news updates on Twitter, not from some other source, but from members of the community. It's truly an incredible thing. So, Brady, thanks for your comment. I think I went on a rant there. I'm not really sure. I'm looking down at the clock. I think we've hit our time. What do you think, Carolina? You think it's time to say goodnight to everybody, or is there anything that we should address? I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Does anybody have anything out there they wanted to address?
Well, I thought crypto, let me see. Crypto Siege wanted to come on, but I think he had left before I saw his comment. So I don't know if he's still here or not. But let's see. Crypto Popo asked you a question, Jerry.
Crypto Popo, Jerry Hall, what part of Costa Rica? I'm coming down in a couple months. I live in Perez de Ledon in San Isidro de General, which is a community about 45 minutes inland from the coastal playa of Dominical. So I'm on the Pacific side of the country, about 45 minutes inland from the ocean, at about 950 to 1,100 feet above sea level, which makes the weather perfect. It's never too hot. It's never too humid. It's never too cold. There's usually always a nice breeze. Truth be told, it's life in shorts and flip-flops. As a matter of fact, if I stood up, all you'd see is shorts. I never wear pants anymore. I don't even put on shoes anymore. It's flip-flops and shorts. And the second this show is over, this shirt's coming off because I'm in Costa Rica, man. I don't need to wear a shirt. Oh, we got Crypto Popo in the Guanacaste region. Guanacaste is way north and it's way touristy. I'm in a place where I'm the only white guy. Well, sorry. I have my dad next door to me in the place next door. But other than me and my dad, we're the only white gringo people around here. Yeah, I did that on purpose. I'm not a big fan of the tourism stuff. What do you think, Carolina? You think it's time to wrap it? You think we put a bow on this thing tonight? Did I lose Carolina? Oh, no me gusta. Ciao, mi amigo. Carolina, mi corazón es todo mundo. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning into the maiden voyage of Monday Night Conversations featuring myself, Jerry Hall, and my partner, XRP Carolina, brought to you exclusively from the On the Chain family of products. Till next week. Pura vida.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.